Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of Four Continental Podcast. The usual Singh Park and me. So let's just dive straight into it. The games that we played last night, starting off with England versus Congo. What do you think of this game?
Yeah, I mean, this game, we were moments away from a very big upset. I wish that happened, but yeah, going to it. Starting off, the England defense at the start was shocking. I mean, the first goal, there was like no excuses for that. Like, what was that defense? And then afterwards, I feel like England were kind of feeling the pressure, whereas DR Congo were like quite organized, at least in the first half. And how can we not talk about the goalkeeper for DR Congo? I mean, he was definitely a hero for them. The amount of shots he saved, like I swear he saved like three Bellingham shots. Like there was just a lot of shots he saved. And then I feel like the players for England were quite mid as well, a lot of them, especially Madueke. I feel like he wasn't that good in the match. And I feel like the midfield between Anderson and Rice also isn't that good. But yeah, I feel like DR Congo fumbled when they with the Visa chance. You know, Visa the chance like he had when he hit the post. Like that definitely should have been in. Would have been 2-0 up for them. But yeah, going to the second half though, I feel like with the Gordon substitution, then the team did kind of step it up in the sense like Gordon and Kane obviously stepped it up, and then the captain he scored two goals, and the second goal was just beautiful. I mean that angle, like it was crazy.
Yeah, obviously Congo started off really well. Uh, yeah, it was. I mean, really how they defended actually really well against a team like England. I mean, looking at their attacks and the whole team, the comparison, the quality in their difference quality. But yeah, actually they did quite well. But I still think that hydration break should not be put into every game because I personally believe that's what cost the Congo in this game. Because if you basically watch the whole game, you see that uh, yeah, they were doing actually quite well, DR Congo. But whenever um hydration break came, after that England would get a higher tempo, and secondly, in the second half, we saw the second hydration break, and still that's where England basically stepped it up and caught the Congo. Harry Kane, though, what a performance! Stood up for his nation where he when his country needed him the most. Yeah, two of the crazy goals, and no credit to be taken away from Lionel Mpasi. And the saves he made were insane. I think he made five or six saves, which if he hadn't, maybe it would have been the scoreline would have been much worse for DR Congo. But yeah, he made some great save, denied, uh, denied their top player who's been in top form, Bellingham. But yeah, it really hurt to see, uh, you know, it's really hard to see the
Yeah.
Congo lose just like that.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you have said. I mean, obviously, hydration breaks have been controversial as hell. Like even Van Dyke said, like he isn't a fan of them, and I feel like it should only be there when it's really needed. For most games, it should only be there. And yeah, like you were saying, DR Congo, they were looking quite organized until the second hydration break. This is what costed them. But yeah, going forward though, I feel like this England performance really wasn't that impressive. So with their next match though, coming up against Mexico, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I am actually kind of curious to see how they go because Mexico have been looking quite good, and if England like continue putting on performance like this, they could actually lose against Mexico.
Yeah, I mean Mexico, and it's obviously in their home, Mexico's home country. Their support, I think they haven't lost the game. They're in like I don't exactly remember how much time, but it's been quite some time since they lost since they lost the game and in Mexico, I think it will be a big challenge as well for England. But maybe just maybe. I mean, we saw how they kind of struggle against DR Congo. We saw the Visa miss. If he had scored that header, maybe the things would have been much more comfortable for DR Congo. But still, they did well and just could not really hold against this English attack. Yeah, I think Mexico will certainly give them a much tough time.
Yeah, and I also want to talk about like even though I was hoping DR Congo would win, but seeing like Harry Kane kind of carry this team was kind of made me happy in the sense like remember against the France game in the last World Cup, like he missed a penalty, right? And
Yeah,
before that moment, like Harry Kane was like super good at penalties, but because of that one miss at the big stage, a lot of people start writing him off and just forget the fact that he was a very good penalty taker. So yeah, I know it's kind of unrelated, but yeah, seeing him being as a hero for the England team instead of being like the guy who's get called out a lot, it does kind of make me happy though. But yeah, again, quite sad with the fact that DR Congo lost. So with that, shall we move on to the next game, Belgium versus Senegal?
yeah. So absolutely, what a crazy game to be honest. Senegal were looking quite comfortable throughout the game, and once again, I thought they did score two, but I think they could have scored at least three or four, and take a much more comfortable lead. I personally believe that like a two-goal lead in World Cup qualifier isn't really enough. I think you should have at least a 3-0 lead because anything can happen. Like we saw Belgium doing this against Japan in 2018, and now they did it against Senegal in 2026. I mean, it's crazy. They scored like two goals in like 4 minutes. I just don't know what went wrong with Senegal. They just lost focus all of a sudden, and yeah, things went south for them completely. Even the extra time, the penalty they gave away was basically like right on the last minute. So yeah, I mean Senegal just really threw it away.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what you are saying. This game, the final scoreline is probably have been the most shocking to me because watching this game, it felt like Senegal just really were like the more dominant side, especially the fact they had a 2-0 lead. But yeah, going to this, it's just kind of like the same problems you have seen with Senegal throughout like the tournament, like against the France game and everything. It's just the fact that they have like a lot of shots, but yeah, they just don't like convert a lot of them. They miss a lot of chances, and like you have said, in the World Cup, when you are missing chances like that, you get punished for it, and that's exactly what happened to them. I mean, like literally at the start, Sar had like a crazy miss. It was like a super goal. I mean, like, it was like super close. He somehow missed, and then even for the first goal Senegal scored, I think Sar missed again, but it was luckily like a Diarra. He quickly like scored like the goal when the ball kind of deflected back. But yeah, they had a lot of chances even afterwards as well. And what was surprising to me was the fact that when Belgium took off De Bruyne and Doku, I really thought like they kind of gave up. And after that moment, I thought it was going to be even more comfortable for Senegal. But yeah, I don't know, they stepped it up, I guess, and then grabbed two goals so quickly. And then even for the penalty in the extra time, it was like very slight contact as I mean it was no my bad I was confused but yeah it was like a last minute it was like a last minute penalty and then yeah I was hoping Lukaku would take the penalty but yeah Theo's man took it and then he converted it.
Yeah, so on that penalty, obviously there was a lot of like controversial and stuff, but I don't think it was controversial at all. There was clear contact. He kicked Tillemans' foot rather than the ball, but yeah, that was a clear cut penalty. And in the last minute of the additional extra time, Senegal had a free kick, which was like inches away from being a penalty. That handball that was given as a free kick. If it was only like inches, like You know, yeah. So it would have been a penalty for Senegal as well. But I think this was the place where they needed Sadio Mane. I believe if he was on the pitch at that time, he would have surely converted that free kick because this was their last chance to take it to the pen. But yeah, they could not do it, and they just lost a very comfortable game. Perhaps they had a a very comfortable lead, and they looked quite comfortable, but then just lost focus, and things went bad for them. And yeah, as you mentioned, the De Bruyne and Doku substitutions. I think the winger they bought on, I don't exactly remember his name, but the one that had braids, I think he was balling actually. He was so good on the wing. I don't think he got dispossessed quite. I don't think he got dispossessed at all. Like he was moving like crazy. Yeah, they stepped it up
Yeah,
and they the win.
yeah. I mean, Morera, I think that's his name. He came on and he's had a good impact. But yeah, this kind of reflects like how crazy the World Cup can be. I think this match kind of really solidifies that. Whole game, it just felt like Senegal was like had the lead, and then the fact that somehow Belgium came back and scored three is just beyond crazy to me. And like you said, even in the extra time, I think Mabaye, that's his name, he had a great chance as well, and then he missed that as well. So yeah, again, just it's really like the same problem we have been discussing like the whole time, the for Senegal. But yeah, is there anything you want to add on, or shall we move on to the next game?
Yeah, I think we've talked about pretty much everything in the game. Let's move to the final game of the day, which was USA versus Bosnia. So, what are your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I mean, going to this game, I did say like I do think USA were kind of like the favorites for it because of the fact that their attack has been looking quite good so far, and I feel like in this match we did kind of see that as well again. I mean, start off, I think Balogun he had a great performance all the way up to the red card he got. If I'm not wrong, he had an offside goal, and he also had like another good chances he missed. But yeah, he also had a goal. But yeah, I think the red card, yeah, that was just like crazy. I mean, it was deserved. I mean, but yeah, I will be kind of. I'm kind of curious to see how USA will continue play the next game without him now because he's quite. He has been quite vital to them in my opinion. But yeah, McKennie, Dest, I think they all were looking kind of good as well. And whereas for Bosnia, I feel like they only really started like having, I think in the second half, right, when they were trailing, they started like spamming a lot of long shots. But yeah, that just wasn't going to be super effective because they were like really long shots. So yeah, I feel like they needed to have like more, like better chances because those shots were not going to be convincing and it was not enough, clearly. What do you think of the game, though?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, USA coming into the game are quite favorites. Uh, yeah, obviously, first of all, home advantage and the way they've been playing in the group stages, everyone expected them to win this game. But still, I think Bosnia, they weren't really, like parking the bus in this game. I think they still commit their players, in the attack. Like as we've seen them in their group games, like we see most of them in their defense. I think we saw quite less of that in this game. But yeah, the goal that Balogun scored, yeah, man, he was just lucky in that one. Like the ball just came to him after a deflection, and it just went right straight to his feet. It just contained a lot of luck to score that goal. But yeah, other than that, I think Demirovic for Bosnia had a pretty average game. He 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 maybe could have scored, but yeah, it just wasn't there for Bosnia. Aiden Dzeko was, I think, injured right at the start of the second half, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, this was such a big game for him, and probably his last ever World Cup game. And yeah, like you don't know if Bosnia are gonna make it to the 2030 World Cup. So yeah, it was potentially his last ever game at the World Cup, and maybe his last ever for Bosnia as well. And yeah, and it was obviously a heartbreak, but what USA did go through, they played well, and yeah, so not really not something to be said about for Bosnia. They did well, of course.
Yeah, I mean, like you have said, I think a lot of people kind of were like underestimating Bosnia, and I feel like throughout this tournament they haven't been quite bad. I mean, their defense in the group stages game, it was looking quite good. I mean, even in this game, they kind of like, even though like USA did, it felt like USA had the ball most of the time, but yeah, they weren't like allowing like USA to completely like dominate as well in the sense. And yeah, it was quite interesting. Like I said, Bosnia weren't like super defensive this game as well. Like I said, in the second half they were like going forward and trying a lot of long shots. So yeah, but Jacko, it is probably going to be his. I mean, it has to be his last World Cup game because by the next World Cup, I think it would be like 44 or 45 if I'm not wrong. So yeah, he was taken off at like halftime, I think, or like a few minutes into halftime. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure, sure. So yeah, let's just move to the predictions now. Starting off with Spain versus Austria. What do you predict in this one?
Yeah, right. So again, I'll probably be slightly biased towards here, but I do favor a Spain win. Because in the sense, like even though Austria, I don't think they have been bad in this World Cup, but when they play against teams like Argentina, you could just really feel like a quality gap difference. In the sense, like they weren't bad, but it did feel like they were like already playing like the best they could, but just like there's just a difference. And whereas for the Algeria game, they consider like 3 goals. So the defense might not be the best as well. So Spain, again, in the group stages, I think the first game, obviously disappointment. But then in the Saudi Arabia game, I feel like in the first half they already completed the job and then they sat back for the second half. And for the Uruguay game, I feel like they didn't go all out again. So hence, I'm thinking like for this, they might actually like finally put up a real performance here. So I'm actually backing a 2-0 win for Spain because again, I don't think Austria are that bad. So I do think they will still put up a fight at least.
Yeah, I mean Spain probably haven't expected as like everyone expected them to perform, like everyone expected them to perform. And yeah, this is a knockout stage. You lose and you're out. And coming into the tournament as one of the favorites, yeah, they're definitely not going down without a fight. And it will be an interesting game because I actually really like the Austrian press. I think their press is like really good. If Austria is able to manage, if they can manage to score a goal in the opening minutes of the game with the intense pressing that they do, I think that they will be able to hold off Spain in the. So yeah, if Austria is able to score a goal in the opening 10 to 15 minutes, and then they're probably gonna park the bus. So I think if this happens, Austria, I believe, might take it. But at the same time, we saw them consider against Algeria, and they were also like parking the bus against them. So yeah, I'm not really sure, but since I've been backing underdogs in this World Cup, yeah, I'm going for a 1-0 win for Austria here.
That's quite interesting. A win for Austria. So with that, should we move to the next game,
Yeah, we
Portugal
have
versus
Diego
Croatia?
with us. Yeah, we have
Or
Diego
Diego
with
with
us.
us.
Yeah, yeah,
Diego,
yeah.
what's your prediction for Spain versus Austria?
Hello, Adolos. It is me, Diego from Brazil. Which game is this?
we are talking about Brazil versus Argentina, bro. Like, what's your prediction for this?
Neymar will score 3 goals and Brazil will win.
Yeah, I definitely hear that. I mean, Neymar, he has been in hot form recently. In this World Cup, he has like played a lot, scored a lot of goals.
For real, for
I
real.
think he's gonna be the top scorer for the World Cup as well. But yeah,
Yeah, for real.
but what do you
He,
think for Argentina though? Like, what type of performance do you think they'll put on though?
I think they will lose because they are racist, and yeah, they will lose and get many red cards.
Interesting. So, anything you want to add on though?
Uh, no, go to the next game.
All right. Next game,
mm,
Moment. You start off first.
yeah, so let's move to the Portugal versus Croatia game. What do you think the score's gonna be here?
This game, I do think it will be a close game because again, Croatia, team of unks, but I feel like Portugal so far in this World Cup haven't been like super convincing. Obviously, they had like one match they were like really good, but that was again Uzbekistan, and Uzbekistan wasn't like super good in this World Cup in my opinion. But yeah, going to this, I do think Croatia will put up a fight, but at the same time, I do feel like Portugal will finally like step it up. So it will be a narrow win for Portugal, in my opinion. So that's why I'm going for a 2-1 win for them.
Yeah, interesting. Diego.
Uh, okay. Being not biased, not from Brazil, I think I do think Portugal will win, but only by 1 goal in extra time. I think the Unks will put up a good performance, and Portugal have been very average recently. And for the Spain game, I think Spain will win it by 2 to 3 goals easily.
Dang,
Right,
that's a
right.
bold,
So
bold prediction.
yo Diego, so who do you think will score the goal for Portugal though?
Ronaldo, obviously the goat, better than
Yeah,
Messi.
but wouldn't he score like few goals though? But like Ronaldo he doesn't only score one goal.
Uh, well, he's a bit washed actually because Neymar's better.
Yeah, true, true. I think yeah,
Yeah,
Neymar is definitely becoming the top scorer. That's for
For
sure.
real,
But
for real,
what's your
for
thoughts
real.
though, Moment?
yeah, yeah. So let's see this game. Um, I mean, I think Croatia in the first game against England they were a bit disappointing, but then in the next two games they really stepped it up against Ghana and Panama. And as we know, Ghana is not a bad team at all. Like they shouldn't be really underestimated. And talking about the age factor in this Croatian side, yeah, they are all like 30 in their 30s perhaps, but still, more age brings more experience as well. So I think that despite Portugal having all the talent that they have and how they've been performing lately in this World Cup, uh, I don't think Portugal win this one. I think Croatia wins this 2-1, and yeah, definitely. I
I
think
would
this
be
is
out for and I'll be very happy for a Portugal upset in the sense they lose. Like I'll be very happy with it to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah. I mean, Croatia is a team that can make it happen. So I think just maybe like a last minute goal for Croatia and they win. So yeah, that's what I think will happen this game. Uh,
Mm, fair. I
yeah,
think I think it's hard. Like Croatia have looked good, to be honest. Like even against England, I know they lost, but like they still scored 2 goals. But I just think Portugal will win it, but not by much. It could be a very, very close game, I think.
Yeah, I mean Croatia in the first half of the game was quite good. They
Mm.
were like competing with England on the same level. But yeah, with that, should we move to the last game, which is Switzerland versus Algeria?
Yeah, let's do
actually
it.
the second
Yeah,
last
what's
game
your
we have.
opinion on
Yeah,
it, David?
Um, I'm not really getting all the African hype, to be honest. Like, I know African teams have done very well, but I don't think they'll go much further. I mean, I know that Switzerland aren't that crazy either, but they still have some ballers. They have a Kanji in defense. They have Xhaka in the midfield. They have Mbolo up top. Like, Switzerland have some ballers still. I think Algeria's main players are a bit washed. Like Mahrez, he's a few years out of his prime. I don't really recognize anyone else. Oh, Ait Nouri, but he's not even a starter at City anymore. So to be honest, I'm not really getting the African hype. I think Switzerland will win this one, maybe a 2-1, 1-0, something by like one goal. What do you reckon, Singpack?
Yeah, I mean, I would kind of agree in the sense like, but just for Algeria that they haven't been that spectacular in this World Cup. I definitely expected them to do better. But at the same time, though, Switzerland, they have not been quite good as well, in my opinion. Feel like for the Bosnia game, it was only because of the second hydration break that kind of got them the momentum to win the game. So yeah, I reckon this will actually be a very close game in this sense. But you know what? I'm actually do I could really see go either way, but for now I would actually say 1-0 win for Switzerland.
Yeah, interesting, interesting. Okay, so I mean Algeria in the group, they beat Jordan and they drew against Austria, but um, man, I don't know how to say it, but that Austria versus Algeria game was 100%. This fit was fixed, man. Like, how do you score a last minute winner and then let the other team score like directly, from the kickoff, like within a few seconds? Yeah, they just. I don't think any of them wanted to face Spain. They just settled for a draw. But yeah, apart from that, Switzerland, they haven't been really dominating, I think, in this World Cup. And, and Algeria has been pretty average as well. I think, but this is a knockout stage. I mean, we have seen the teams who haven't been doing well in the group stages actually step it up in this knockout. So I think that Algeria will take the win here. I think they beat Switzerland, and their obviously their captain Riyad Mahrez scores the goal. I mean, yeah, when you could argue that the players that they have are a bit old, like Mahrez, and yeah, but they have players like Ayat Nouri, who's maybe not a starter at City, but he's still a good player. And they got Haj Musa, and similarly they got other ballers too. They got a player I think who plays in Leverkusen as well. But yeah, I think they have a decent side. Switzerland also, they have a decent player like Pagas, Embolo, Kanji, Chaka. I think it will be a close game, but Algeria might just edge it 1-0 and win the game. Yeah, let's move to the final game of the day: Australia versus Egypt. So let's start off with uh, David here. What do you think? What do you think the score is gonna be?
Yeah. So for the Australia game, I think it really depends how Australia play. If we play the same way we played against the USA, I think we're cooked. Like, that was hopeless. That was just praying for a lucky goal. I think if we actually attack the game, take our chances the same way we did against Turkey, I think we could get a win. So honestly, I think we will attack this game and I think we'll win it 2-1. I think we'll go all out, attacking subs second half after conceding early, and yeah, just go for it. I know I'm a bit biased. I am biased, but I've been looking at the Egypt team. They don't have that many big names. If our defense can keep Salah, Mamouche quiet, I think we can get a win. What do you guys think?
Yeah, Moment, what do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this game, a pretty perhaps, and you can say a kind of an evenly match, like evenly game, because uh, nor Egypt nor Australia like have been that great so far. And Australia got a draw against Paraguay. Egypt got a draw against Iran. But yeah, this game, I think it will be a really close game. I think it will remain nil-nil. I think this game goes to penalties, and in penalties, I think Egypt takes the edge here because I haven't really seen Australia in penalty shootouts, but I have seen Egypt in the penalties shootouts. So I think that Egypt might have a slight edge in the penalties, but it, yeah, it's the World Cup. We've seen this in the previous games, like Paraguay game. Obviously, nobody was expecting Paraguay to save those penalties and potentially beat the four times World Cup champions. And yeah, it just happened. So penalties are something that can go either way. But I think that Egypt will win it in the penalties. What do you think, Simpan?
Yeah, I mean, like everyone have said, I do think it would be a close contest. I think both teams for the quality is kind of similar. And even though David has pointed out that, Egypt doesn't have like many players. I mean, they have many players who still play in the Egypt league. I don't think it would be a problem for them because in the other games you have seen like it wasn't a big problem. But surely, yeah. At the same time, though, against Australia, it would be more of a problem. But going to this, I do think it will go to extra time, but I don't think it will go to penalties though. And I think Australia actually scores a goal at extra time. Yeah, I think it will be a very close game. I think it will be a 1-0 win for Australia.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
fair. That makes sense. Like I think it definitely could go either way. And yeah, it really just depends. But I do agree. I think if it goes to penalties, Egypt could very easily win. We literally have no experience with penalties. Um, yeah, I agree.
um, yeah, so this basically has a potential to be, I mean, the best game of all the four being played tonight. So yeah, it's gonna be a really interesting match day. Four games once again. In the previous game, we had three, we had two games per day, and tomorrow we end the round of 32 games. Then we move to the round of 16, and yeah, just can't really believe it. It's like I think it's only 18 days since we have the World Cup. Like it ends in 18 days. The final we have is on 20th, so it's second now. We have 18 days since the World Cup until the World Cup ends. So I think it's gone it's gone by pretty far, and now we'll have to wait another 4 years for these World Cup vibes. But I think it's been a great tournament so far. How, what are your thoughts on how the games have been played, like the games that we played so far? How has been the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, going through this World Cup, I did have my concerns with the new format because, there were like more teams. But yeah, surprisingly, I still think it has been quite entertaining. I feel like, the relatively weaker sides, they have put up a fight for a lot of games. But for my favorite games, though, I still think my favorite game will be Netherlands versus Morocco. I mean, that game was just full of emotions. And we had the worst penalty shootout ever, which was quite entertaining, in my opinion. But yeah, this World Cup has been quite good. And I hope it keeps on gifting. What's your thought, David?
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not sure what my favorite game of the World Cup would be so far. I think the best game for me is probably still to come. I think it will happen in the later finals, the later stages of the knockout rounds. I
Not,
think for
Aus- Not Australia versus Turkey?
Yeah, I was thinking it actually. Like as a biased like Australia fan, yes, that game was peak. But like for the whole World Cup in total, like not being biased, I don't know. So far, like watching Spain has been pretty good. I enjoyed that. Watching Brazil, that also was pretty good. So I think the best games are yet to come, to be honest. But yeah, it's been great with the extended teams. It's great to see African teams do well too.
Yeah, and Asian teams, I think they did extra well this World Cup. But yeah, Momi, what's your favorite game though?
Yeah, I mean, in this World Cup, we have seen more participation from different continents. We have African teams. They've shown their quality in the group stage, but so far haven't really been convincing in the knockout stages. And so far for the game of the tournament, I think I agree with David because I personally don't think the game has come yet. And as we have round of 16 remaining, I think that game is yet to come, the best game where we see. But if I had to choose one currently, I think it would be you know Belgium versus the Belgium game because that was honestly to speak it, like I think that game was at 1 a.m. for me, but up until the 80th minute, I thought Senegal gonna have it easy win. They just have to defend the last 10 minutes now. And the next game, USA versus Bosnia, was in like 3 hours. I thought I was gonna get some maybe an hour of sleep to until the next game. But yeah, then the Belgium comeback happened, and I just lost sleep at all. And yeah, I think so far that game has been the best game so far. But on the field, obviously we have some great moment off the field as well. But slight some concerns with the visa, etc. Not many people were happy about how their visa was declined and such stuff. But I think if we look at it from a football perspective, it's been all right in the US. But if you look at Canada and Mexico, I think that's where the real atmosphere has been. So yeah, so far it's been a good one, and hopefully it just keeps on, uh, you know, being how it is.
Wait, just quickly let me butt in. Have you seen the stats on how many people Canada aren't letting in though and are deporting? It's massive. Like Canada are equally as bad as the USA, if not worse. Like a lot of
Oh,
those African countries, all their fans have not been let in, like large portions of them.
dang, that's actually didn't know that, and it's actually quite surprising once
Yeah.
again. And
hmm
yeah, I think I mentioned this when the World Cup was being started. I think in the predictions game, in the prediction podcast, sorry, I think I said that Mexico should have been the sole host because they. I mean, if you look at all of the three countries, only Mexico is the country that has the real football culture. They know how to treat the fans, and there has been videos all over social media that the fans have been really happy in Mexico as well, as compared to Canada and United States. So yeah, I think it's just been perhaps a kind of a disaster if you look at it from the overall perspective. And yeah, hopefully these issues don't occur in the upcoming World Cups. So yeah, what do you think,
I would actually
Simsa?
kind of disagree with that though, because yeah, at first I kind of agreed that Mexico should have been the only host as well. But in this World Cup, we have been seeing amazing chants by USA. I mean, I'm sure you all seen the USA one, right? That was the best chant I ever heard in my life. So with that, I actually think USA is the best host ever for real. I mean, I can't wait to hear more of that chants. What do you think?
Bros wanna secure a scholarship to the US. Yeah,
Yeah, they made the entry harder now, right? I need the
yeah,
sponsorship,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, so I guess this is it for today's episode. We discussed the games played last night and give our predictions for the upcoming games tonight. Some really exciting matchups we have in store for us tonight. So let's see how it goes. I'm actually really excited for the games. And don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you have any suggestions or share your predictions in the comment section. And yeah, we can maybe, know, uh, 10 likes, and we can try to convince Diego to come with us in the next episode. But yeah, let's hope for the best, and hopefully we have another episode where all five join us. And yeah, this is for today, and I'll catch up with you tomorrow.
All right, catch you on the next one.
See you guys in the next one.